3 months into this job, my dispatcher told me there's one house on my route I am never, under any circumstances, allowed to deliver to. Not, leave it on the porch and go. Not, skip it if nobody answers. Never. Full stop. And when I asked why, she said the only thing she'd say about it before hanging up. Because the last guy who did lasted 4 more days. I drive Route 9 for a regional courier company, 5 days a week, covering about 60 miles of hollow road outside a town called Wharton Gap, West Virginia. The kind of place where GPS just gives up past a certain point and you're going off memory and mile markers somebody nailed to a fence post decades ago. Mostly it's boring work. Feed orders, prescription refills, the occasional Amazon overflow package the big trucks won't run because the roads are too narrow. I took it because it pays better than anything else around here and because I like being alone with a radio for 8 hours a day. Dale Fenwick trained me my first 2 weeks. 50-something, missing half a finger on his left hand from some accident he never explained, the kind of guy who talks in short sentences because he's already decided you don't need the long version. Second day on the route, he pulled the van over at a fork I hadn't noticed before. One road curving left toward a cluster of trailers, one going right and disappearing into trees, and he pointed right. "You don't go down there," he said. "Nobody lives down there?" "Somebody lives down there." He said it flat, like that answered the question. Then he handed me a laminated index card with the route's regular stops listed, and one address near the bottom circled in red marker, no name next to it. "That one's not a stop. It's on the list because dispatch needs it on the list. You skip it. Every single day you skip it." I want to tell you I pushed harder for an explanation. I didn't. Something about the way he said it, not scared exactly, just done talking about it, made me let it go. For the first month, skipping it was easy. There was never a package address there anyway. It just sat on the manifest every morning, same as every other stop, an address with no name, and I drove past the turn without slowing down, and that was that. Then 5 weeks in, a package showed up in my van addressed to it. No name on the label. Just the address, 1147 Hollow Fork Road, and a shipping weight that felt wrong in my hands, too light for the size of the box, like it was mostly empty. I called dispatch from the next stop over, expecting them to tell me to bring it back to the depot unscanned. Instead, the woman on the line just said, real tired, "Leave it in the van overnight. Someone will come collect it before your shift tomorrow." Like this had happened before. Like it happened regularly enough that there was already a procedure for it. I left it in the van. Locked the doors, which I never usually bother doing out there. Drove home with it still sitting in the back, and I want to be honest with you, I checked my rearview more on that drive than I have on any drive before or since, for no reason I could actually name. In the morning, the package was gone from a locked van, and there was no report of a break-in, and dispatch never brought it up again. That wasn't the only strange thing about that week. 2 days after the package disappeared, I noticed something on my printed manifest I hadn't paid attention to before. Every stop on Route 9 has a stop number, sequential, 1 through however many deliveries I've got that day, except 1147. That address doesn't have a number at all. Every other stop on every manifest I've ever run, printed or handwritten, has a number next to it. That one just has 3 dashes where the number should be. I asked the dispatcher about it, the same tired-sounding woman, and she told me that's just how the system's always generated it for that address, ever since she started, and she didn't know why, and she'd rather not look into it if it was all the same to me. That's when I asked around Wharton Gap, the way you do in a small town, casual, at the diner, over coffee, not letting on why I was really asking. And that's how I heard about Ricky Boone. Ricky drove Route 9 2 years before I did. Same training, same laminated card, same red-circled address. Except one afternoon, according to the guy who told me this at the diner counter, a mechanic who used to fix Ricky's van, Ricky got a package addressed to 1147 Hollow Fork Road with an actual signature required, which had never happened before or since. Company policy says you don't leave a signature-required package unattended, so Ricky drove it down. He came back to the depot that evening and didn't say much. Finished his shift the rest of that week like normal. The mechanic remembered that part specifically because Ricky had always been chatty on his route, radioed in jokes half the day, and that whole last week he went dead quiet on the CB like he'd stopped wanting to talk to anybody at all. Quit the following Monday, no notice, moved out of the county within the month. The mechanic said the last time he saw Ricky before he left town for good, Ricky told him one thing about that delivery and refused to say anything else ever to anyone. The porch light was off when I got there. It was on by the time I left. I don't know who turned it on. There was one more detail the mechanic mentioned, almost as an afterthought, like he didn't think it mattered as much as the rest. Ricky's van needed an oil change a week after that delivery, routine maintenance, nothing unusual, except when the mechanic popped the hood, the mileage on the van's trip odometer for that one stop read 41 miles. Hollow Fork Road, door to door from the depot, is 6 miles each way. Ricky never explained where the other 29 miles went, and the mechanic said he never asked twice, because of the look on Ricky's face the one time he did. I didn't think much of that at the time. I do now. Because 2 weeks ago, driving home past dusk, later than I usually run the route held up by a downed tree blocking the main road, I came up on that fork. Right turn into the trees, toward 1147. The porch light was on. I could see it through the tree-line from the main road, a single yellow bulb, way brighter than it had any business being from that distance. And there was something else in that glow, standing at the edge of the driveway facing the road, facing my headlights. I didn't slow down enough to get a real look at it. I want to be clear about that. I did not stop, I did not slow down. Some instinct in me from that fork conversation with Dale 2 months prior just took over. But I have never, not once, described what I saw that night to another living person, and I'm not going to start now. I'll just say it was tall in a way that didn't sit right with the size of the driveway, and it didn't move while my headlights passed over it, not even a little, the way anything alive shifts its weight just standing still. And I'll say that even with my windows up and the radio on, I heard something. Not a voice, not words, just a low sound underneath the engine noise, like it was coming from inside the van instead of outside it. I got home. I sat in my driveway for 20 minutes before I could make myself go inside. I didn't sleep that night, not really, and around 2 in the morning I made the mistake of pulling up my delivery app to check the next day's manifest early. Habit more than anything, something to do with my hands. Route 9, same as always, same stops in the same order. Except 1147 Hollow Fork Road had a note attached to it that I had never seen on that entry before, in the same 3- slot where the stop number should be. It just said, confirmed occupied. I have never once, in 3 months of running that route, seen any note at all attached to that address. I screenshotted it before I could talk myself out of it. When I opened the app again the next morning to start my shift, the note was gone, like it had never been there. The next morning I called Dale, retired now but still answers his phone for people from the old route, and told him what I saw. Long silence on the line. Then he said quiet, porch light was off right before that night? I never noticed it on before. Ever. Means it's your turn coming, he said. Don't know when. Don't know what that means exactly. Just, when that light's on you don't stop. Doesn't matter what's standing there. Doesn't matter if it looks like somebody you know. I asked him what happened to him personally, whether he'd ever driven that road down. He didn't answer that part. He just told me to keep skipping the stop, hung up, and hasn't picked up when I've called since. Here's the part one still can't explain. 3 days after that call, I was sorting the morning manifest at the depot, going stop by stop the way I always do, and I found an old delivery slip wedged behind the clipboard, years old, curled and sun-faded, must have been stuck back there since before I started. Handwritten. A name on it, no address, just a name and a date from 4 years back. Danny Reeves. I don't know who that is. I don't know why it was tucked behind my clipboard on my van on my route. I looked it up later, out of nothing but a bad feeling I couldn't shake, and found almost nothing. An old listing for a call center job 2 counties over, nothing recent, nothing current. I brought the slip to Dale, drove out to his place instead of calling this time. He looked at it for a long time without saying anything, turned it over like he expected something on the back, and set it down on his kitchen table like it had gotten heavier in his hand. All he said was, "That's not the first name I've seen on the back of that clipboard. Won't be the last either." He wouldn't tell me what the others were. He wouldn't tell me how many others there'd been. He just told me to put it back exactly where I found it, wedged behind the clipboard, and to never go looking for it again on purpose. I did what he said. It's still there now as far as I know. I haven't checked. I still drive Route 9. I still skip 1147 Hollow Fork Road every single day, same as always. The porch light's been off every time I've passed since that night. Every time except once 4 days ago, right around dusk, when I swear for just a second, coming around the bend before the fork, I saw it flicker on and go dark again before I was close enough to be sure. I didn't slow down. I'm not going to start now. I keep waiting for the day it stays on.